Hello my dear students, in this video now we are going to learn about the preparation properties of the pyrosol. Pyrosol formula is the C3H4O2. There is no difficulty in remembering the formula of the pyrosol. If you know the structure of the pyrrole, we can easily remember the structure and formula of the pyrosol. Here, this is the structure of the pyrrole. Here in pyrrole, 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon atoms and 5 hydrogen atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 hydrogen atom is present. So the formula of the pyrrole becomes as the C4H5N. Pyrrole is also called as the azole because 5-membered heterocyclic compounds get the OLE ol suffix, and here the heteroatom is nitrogen. Nitrogen is called as the azote, so that's why the name of the pyrrole, systematic name of the pyrrole is the azole. So if we replace the one carbon from the pyrrole with nitrogen atom, we get the formula and structure of the pyrosol. So the formula of the pyrosol becomes as the C3H4N2, and we can call it as the 1,2 diazole also. Now we go for the preparation of the pyrosol. We can easily remember the reactants which are used to prepare the pyrosol if you analyze the structure of the pyrosol. Here we can break the pyrosol molecule in this way or in this way. If we break the pyrosol molecule in this way, here 2 nitrogen atoms come one side and 3 carbon atoms go to the other side. So here in this method, uh, we have to take the two reactants, and one reactant should contain 3 carbon atoms, and other reactant should contain 2 nitrogen atoms side by side. That means adjacent nitrogen atom should present in that reactant. So generally the compound in which 2 nitrogen atoms are present in the adjacent position is hydrazine, and for the carbon compound that contains the 3 carbon atoms, we take the 1,3 dicarbonyl compounds. Otherwise we can take the beta keto esters also, we can here use here. Here, if we break the pyrosol molecule in this way, then two carbon atoms come to one side, and one carbon and 2 nitrogen atoms come to another side. So for this type of molecule in which one carbon and 2 nitrogen atoms are present adjacent to each other is diazomethane. So for this type of reactant we take here diazomethane, and for the carbon compound that contains 2 carbon atoms, we take the here acetylene or acetylene derivatives. So here we have the two methods to prepare the what is that pyrosol. First is from the 1,3 dicarbonyl compounds, and the second method is by using the acetylene or acetylene derivatives. So first of all we go for this method. Okay, so we have to take the what is that 1,3 dicarbonyl compounds. Look here. So next we have to take the hydrazine. So look here. So we know very well that carbonyl compounds undergo condensation with the nitrogen or ammonia derivatives. No? So here condensation takes place. That means this oxygen atom uh, reacts with this hydrogen of the hydrazine and goes outside in the form of the water molecule. So here in this method, what happens? Two water molecules go outside. So as a result, we get this type of compound. Okay, right? Then what happens means this compound undergoes aromatization, and we get the pyrosol. So look here, we can call it as the aromatization, or in other words we can call it as the tartomerism also. So we call it as aromatization because in this one we get the pyrosol, which is an aromatic compound. Okay, so this one breaks here, and this this electron pair comes here, and the hydrogen atom attaches to this nitrogen atom. As a result, we get this compound, pyrrole. So this is what is it? This is pyrrole or pyrrole derivative. Okay, na? So in the place of R, if you write the hydrogen, that becomes the pyrrole. Okay, so it is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 comma 4 dialkyl pyrrole. Okay, this is a 2 comma 5 dialkyl pyrrole. Now we go for the preparation of the pyrrole from acetylene. Look at, so here we can take acetylene or acetylene derivatives. So for simplicity, we take the acetylene, and what is that? For the other compound, we take the what is the diazomethane. The formula of the diazomethane is CH2N2. So we write the expanded structure of the diazomethane. So in diazomethane, negative charge is there on the nitrogen atom and positive charge is there on the carbon atom. As a result, what happens? A addition takes place, and look at this electron pair goes to here, and a bond will be formed between this carbon and this nitrogen, and this bond is shifted to here. As a result, a bond will be formed between this carbon and this carbon. As a result, we get a addition product. This is addition only. Okay, na? Addition. So here we get the addition product. Okay, so now here we show one hydrogen atom here. So this one now undergoes steatomerism. What is it? As a result, what happens? Look at double bond will be formed between this carbon and this nitrogen, and this bond will be shifted here, and this hydrogen attaches on this nitrogen atom. As a result, you get the what is that? Pyrrole. So this is pyrrole. Okay, so these are the two methods used to prepare the pyrrole. Now we go for the properties of the pyrrole. We can classify the properties of the pyrrole in two ways. First one is the physical properties, and the second one is the chemical properties. Under the physical properties, two main points that are to be studied are boiling point and tautomerism. The boiling point of the pyrrole is high compared to the boiling point of the 1-alkyl pyrrole, as well as the boiling point of the pyrrole, because in pyrrole intermolecular hydrogen bonds are present. As a result, its boiling point is high compared to the pyrrole as well as 1-alkyl pyrrole. Here the boiling point of the pyrrole is 187 degrees centigrade, whereas the boiling point of the pyrrole is 129 degrees. Actually, it is written a wrong number. It is actually 129 degrees centigrade. Okay, so that is the point we have to remember. And next one is the tautomerism. Here, tautomerism means shifting of the small atom or a group of atoms from one position to the another position. So in pyrrole, two nitrogen atoms are present in the adjacent position, and the hydrogen shifts in between these two nitrogen atoms. Here we have the NMR evidence for the tautomerism. Due to the tautomerism only, this hydrogen and this hydrogen shows the same signal in the NMR. That means at the same position we get the signal. If tautomerism is not possible, then this two hydrogen should show two different signals in the NMR. So that is the evidence for the tautomerism. And here we have the one more evidence for the tautomerism from the chemical reactions. Look here, 1-phenyl 3-methyl pyrrole is oxidized. In the similar way, 1-phenyl 5-methyl, this is 5-methyl and this is 3-methyl. 1-phenyl and this is 3-methyl and this is 3-methyl and this is the 5-methyl. Okay, so when both are subjected to the oxidation with the KMnO4, give the same product. That means we can call this product as the 3 or 5-methyl pyrazole. So we get the same product from the 1-phenyl 3-methyl pyrazole as well as from the 1-phenyl 5-methyl pyrazole. Okay, so this is the chemical evidence for the tautomerism. Now we go for the chemical properties. We know very well that due to the presence of the nitrogen atoms, this pyrazole act as a Lewis base. And we have to remember that when nitrogen is attached to the more electronegative atom, like another nitrogen atom or oxygen atom, its basicity decreases. That can be clearly understood by looking at the pKa values. So look here, the pKa value of ammonia is 9.2 and pKa value of hydrogen is 7.9. So like that, pKa value of hydroxylamine is 5.8. So here we know very well that oxygen is more electronegative than the nitrogen. No? So as a result, its pKa, the hydroxylamine pKa value is less than the pKa value of the hydrogen. As a result, its basicity decreases. And here we have to remember that basic nature is proportional to the pKa value. So here ammonia is strongest, and the pKa value of the pyrazole is 2.5 only. So here we can see 2.5, and pKa value of the pyrrole is 0.4 and pKa value of the pyridine is 5.6. That means the pKa value of pyrazole is lying in between pKa values of the pyrrole and the pyridine. So we can say that pyrazole is strong base than the pyrrole and less basic than the pyridine. Okay, so on protonation, what happens? Look here, we get the pyrazolium cation, and this pyrazolium cation is stabilized by these these resonance structures. So as a result, it shows the basic nature. Okay, so on the whole, we can say that the pyrazole is a base. Now we go for the aromatic nature of the pyrazole. Here in pyrazole, 5 atoms are there. Among them, 3 are carbon atoms and 2 are nitrogen atoms. And but here 6 electrons involved in the system. As a result, it becomes as the electron-rich aromatic compound or electron-excess aromatic compound. And its resonance energy is 29.3, whereas the kilocalorie per mole. The resonance energy of the benzene is 36 kilocalorie per mole. That means it is less aromatic than the benzene. So it is highly reactive towards to the electrophilic substitution reactions compared to the benzene. It is highly reactive towards the electrophilic substitution reactions compared to the benzene. Okay, and by looking at the structures, we can say that electrophilic substitution takes place mainly at the fourth position. Okay, na? This is these are the resonance structures when electrophilic substitution takes place at third position, and these are the resonance structures when electrophilic substitution takes place at fourth position, and these are the resonance structures when electrophilic substitution takes place at the fourth place. So look here, in these structures we can observe that two nitrogen atom gets the positive charge, and look here also we get the positive charge on the nitrogen atoms, whereas here positive charge is present only on the one nitrogen atom, and positive charge is beared by the carbon. Okay, nitrogen is more electron atom, so they are not ready, or it is not possible to bear positive charge on the nitrogen atom. So we can say that fourth position is more convenient for the electrophilic substitution reactions. So look here. So we are in electrophilic substitution reactions, electrophile will be substituted at the fourth position. Now here we can observe the examples for the electrophilic substitution reactions. First one is the nitration, halogenation, alkylation, and chloromethylation. This is so and this is formylation, and benzoylation, and this is benzylation. So look here. For we know very well that for nitration purpose we use the mixture of the nitric acid and sulfuric acid. Okay, so here we get the name of this one is the 1 2 3 4, so 4 nitro pyrazole. Here we get the 4 chloro pyrazole, and here we get the 4 comma 5 dichloropyrazole, and this one is the 4 phenyl methyl pyrazole. So this comes under the alkylation. Okay, formylation, sorry, chloromethylation. For the chloromethylation we use the mixture of the formaldehyde and hydrochloric acid. Okay, so we get the chloromethyl group. Okay, methyl group is CH3, and CH2Cl group is chloromethyl group. Okay, and next one is the formylation. For the formylation we use the dimethyl formamide. Okay, we know very well that this is formamide. So in the place of these hydrogens we write, if we write the methyl group, that becomes the DMF. This is formamide, and in the place of these two hydrogens, if you write the methyl group, that becomes the DMF, dimethyl formamide. And this reaction is known as the Wills-Meyer reaction. Wills-Meyer reaction. Okay, and here the last two reactions here shows the acidic nature of the pyrazole. So the hydrogen present on the nitrogen can be easily removed. So that's why pyrazole act as the acid also. So this shows the acidic properties in the similar way that to that of the pyrrole. Pyrrole also shows some acidic properties. No? In the similar way, here also pyrazole is showing some acidic properties. So due to that acidic nature, this hydrogen can be replaced with the benzyl group. That means PHCO group, benzoyl group, and benzyl group, PHCH2 group is known as the benzyl group. This is benzyl, this is benzoyl. Okay, so this two reactions shows the acidic nature of the pyrazole. Now we go for the nucleophilic substitution reactions. Generally pyrazole is most reluctant to the nucleophilic substitution reactions. But if electron withdrawing groups are present on the nitrogen, that means on the first position, then nucleophiles can be somewhat easily substituted. So so actually here we should not write chlorine here. So this is a 1-phenyl pyrrozole. Sorry, okay. Okay, sorry, here 5-chloro-1-phenyl pyrrozole is taken, and whenever we treat this with the sodamide, what happens, this chlorine is substituted with amine. Here we have tried the amine. In the place of chlorine, we have tried the NH2. So the presence of the phenyl group facilitates the substitution of the chlorine with another nucleophile. Okay. And when electron releasing groups are present on the nitrogen, then the ring opening takes place, and we get N-alkyl beta aminoacrylonitrile. So this is known as N-alkyl beta aminoacrylonitrile. So the ring opening takes place, and here we go for the oxidation now. So actually pyrrozole is very reluctant to the, that means resistant to the oxidation, but it easily undergoes reduction in the presence of the catalyst. So here reduction takes place in the two steps. So in the first step we get the pyrazoline, and in the next step we get the pyrazolidine. Pyrazolidine is a completely reduced form of the pyrazole. Thank you.